welcome to Scrolling with Ceazor. Today is August 7th, 2026. I got some news for you today. I'm pretty busy, so I kind of have to hammer through this stuff again pretty quick. But before we get into the tweets, let's take a quick look at some charts. Everything's looking okay. Crypto's kind of bouncing around sideways again today. Gold is starting to pump again, which is nice. For me and my positions, hype is bouncing around sideways. Yeah, most of crypto is just kind of sideways for the most part. There's a nice good pump on Frax yesterday, which is super good, super nice. I've got liquidity positions on Frax as well. I just don't have them charted here because I've got so many. I don't want to put a whole bunch in there. But anyhow, let's move on to some of the stonks that I'm providing liquidity to. Now, I'm providing these on Ramses on Robinhood. So Meta's bouncing around in the middle of my chart. So that's quite good. I opened it a few days ago and it's bouncing around, getting me some trading fees in the range here. Google, I've got a tiny bit of money up there, but it's kind of out of range now. I'm not sure what I should do if I don't really want to buy here. I'd rather buy a little bit down closer to here. So I might put some stable coins down here to pick up some more. Tesla is up from where I purchased, but not much. It went down, bought some more, and then I've sold. So a little bit of volume in there, which is quite nice. Now, this is super wide range though, so it's not going to be, the APR is not going to be super high on these. Let's kind of take a look at them since, let's take a look at my public wallet that has a few positions, see what the APR looks like. So yeah, so as you can see, just the ranges aren't, the APRs aren't too great, but it's a great way to bet on stocks, I think. Like I'm mostly concerned with capital gains in these positions. So yeah, this one's out of range, but maybe I'm gonna put some stable coins down and around here. I'll think about this in my own time. Okay, let's go into some tweets. So first tweet we have here is from Xerox, not gonna make it. He's got a pretty good message here. He says the difference is that VC, now he's talking about venture capitals in crypto probably. VCs is a positive sum game because if you think about it, they're injecting money into protocols or into businesses. Those businesses are growing. Perhaps they have jobs. Perhaps they're creating services or product sales or something like this. So they're adding to the ecosystem, right? With their money. So they're adding jobs or services or goods, right? To an ecosystem. Poker is zero sum because there's only so much money on the table and it all goes to one person, right? So zero sum. And then the shit coins are negative sum. Now, how can they be negative sum, right? Because there are fees extracted from people who have nothing to do with the meme coins, right? So we have gas, right? We have arbitrage bots. We have snipers who just kind of go in and leave. Now the snipers are not quite the negative sum because it's kind of they're players, right? But if you think of it that way, like the ecosystem gas token, having to pay gas to do that and all that kind of stuff. So, and then, there's also just the fact that, people snipe it and, it's not really like a transparent positive sum game. Like when you sit down at a poker game, everybody's sitting at equal footing, and then it's kind of skill or luck that kind of allows you to be the winner, right? Whereas with like shit coins, like meme coins and stuff like that, there's not a lot of skill or luck. Almost all the winners of them are almost always the people who sniped it and have just cabals to push it up or some sort of crap like that. Anyhow, so moving on. So Frax Finance has this cool thing. So our customers send dollars to a normal bank, normal accounts numbers. You receive FFX on chain, same account every time, wire or ACH, 1-to-1 into your account you control. Your home to on-chain money. So yeah, it's like an on-ramp, right? So if you think about it, you can use your banks. Now this is mostly American, I think. You can use your banks to just send money on chain. So you can just get your dollars on chain through this net.frax.com. So check it out if that's something you want to do. I really like that they're like kind of merging traditional finance into on-chain finance and making it super easy and straightforward. Someone has to do it, right? And I'd much rather do it with, like, this is not my ideal stablecoin, but I like what they're doing. My ideal stablecoin is like permissionless, trustless, completely, none of that stuff. But you have to play both sides of the game, right? So this is the one I prefer to use for my TradFi exposure, especially on chain. Like, I'd rather use Frax than USDC, for example. Okay, moving on. So here's the other one that I like, which is Liquidity Bold. I've talked about this so much, but here is a vault that I've talked about many times, and I'm just going to keep telling it and telling you. This is good stuff, okay? So you can get about 10%, roughly 10%, just auto-compounding ETH, okay? Check it out, okay? iPour Vault, I have a video on this if you want to understand how it works. You can put ETH in here, you get more ETH. It only exposes you to Liquidity and Curve, as well as the iPour Vault. More ETH, and it's covered by open insurance or open cover. So if you do want to get insurance, you can go to open cover and actually insure this position. So like, if you're worried about that. Now, if you don't want to pay for insurance, you can kind of look at the insurance as a extra bit of due diligence on this vault, right? Okay, so Millie says here, is a pretty long tweet here, but he's talking about being super naive because his belief in the industry is unwavering. I'm with him on this. Like, I have a very optimistic view on most of crypto and DeFi. Of course, there's terrible people, terrible things, lots of hacks, lots of exploits, lots of like extraction events, lots of grifters and thieves and low lives and stuff like that. You have to be careful. You got to be a little bit, just be careful about who you talk to and what you believe and who you listen to. But the industry as a whole is pretty sweet. Like, it's building something that's actually valuable. And as he says here, values are worth fighting for. So yeah, you can read through his whole his whole post here and kind of get a better idea of what's going on here. He's got lots of points, like AI is immensely empowering. And AI is going to be definitely, you're going to be using on-chain finance as opposed to, they can't open a bank account, right? So yeah, just check this out. I agree with Millie. Okay, so this is interesting. So this lady here, Dalea, she said, I spent years focusing on digital art, but I miss making physical art. Any tips on getting back into the habit? Now this is like what I think is missing. Like, I would much rather buy NFTs of this lady's art, and then maybe she like sends you the art if you redeem the NFT or something like that. Like something like that. I would much rather support someone who's actually painting and drawing than just some guy who's like using like an AI to generate a whole bunch of like different monkey pictures or cat pictures or what have you, right? Even if they're just drawing them and it only lives on chain or in digital form, I think it's way less appealing than something like this that has actual physical characteristics. Now, of course, you can print your digital art if you wanted to, but the whole point of art is to appreciate the mastery of spending a lot of time to achieve mastery. That's the point of art, in my opinion. It's not just about who can pump out the fastest, the stuff the fastest. Okay, Vitalik is this long tweet here, as always, and he's talking about Signal. Signal is a competitor to Telegram. Telegram is pretty much the main app that most crypto people use, as we all know. But so he's talking about some good things about Signal, and some of them are pretty significant. Okay, so now number one, they're reducing the dependency on phone numbers. If you want to open a Telegram account, you need a phone number, and that obviously doxes you, right? Phone numbers are for many people not good route of identity from the access control perspective. Phone numbers get SIM swapped all the time, so you lose a lot of security by having your Telegram linked to your SIM card, right? Allowing number-free accounts will make it harder for them in the future to discriminate people by country. So yeah, there's still that. Like I sometimes, like to be honest, when someone DMs me, I always check where they're from on Telegram, and I might be a little bit racist in that sense, but I try my best to like not judge people by where they're from. But you know, it's hard, so it's kind of a difficult one for me to swallow a little bit. I think it's good like that if you don't take cold calls or you don't answer cold DMs, then you don't need this, right? But I like to give everybody a hello or a hi or ask people what they want. Obviously, like 99% of the time, it's just some grifter trying to get me to promote their coin or trying to scam me, right? So yeah, that's happening. EtherFi did something that I think is very significant. They took their WEETH, which is used to be an LRT, so it used to have restaking into it, and they've separated them out. So if you hold WEETH now, it's only a liquid staking token. It's only exposed to validator aspects, right? Validator yield and validator risk, right? However, if you want to continue to have the LRT risk, which is restaking, so then you can, then they're using this symbiotic, right? Then you can stake your WEETH for WEETHS, right? And I like this a lot because I didn't hold WEETH because I didn't want this restaking exposure. But now that they've separated them out, I can see that this WEETH might grow significantly. Okay, so I did a video yesterday on Polaris, like I said I was going to do. You can watch the video. It's like a full Ceazor snack sandwich explainer with, you know, everything here. So it's pretty good. I think Polaris says it's awesome. You can read through his comments. They talk a little bit about like, oh, I only touched a little bit on the V polar. There's a little bit more there. But anyhow, you can watch it and get a good grounding and then decide if this is something you want to look at deeper. Okay, Lefticus is talking about the EIP proposal, and so is Banteg. Okay, so there's quite a lot here. I don't want to read through every single point, but as you can see, here are some of the like pro-issuance people, what they're saying. Okay, this is what Lefticus has read that people have said. He says, Ethereum is not a democracy. ETH holders don't get to decide the direction of the network. We know what's best for you. Just comply. It's math, and the math says you are wrong. So these are what some of the people are saying that are for the pro like issuance reduction thing, where like 50%, if 50% is staked, then stakers get 0% APR, right? And then Banteg comes in with a whole bunch of like quotes as well. I don't want to read through all of them, but basically, you know, a whole bunch. Like I think it's like 99% are saying no, and now it's 99% or 100% are saying no. Everybody who's got a vote is saying no. And he's like, okay, solo stakers also say no, but validators are obviously conflicted. Ask validators about issuance is like asking landlords about rent. Actually, validator opinion was never relevant. So it's just like if you just read through this and you can kind of see that it's just constantly like just defending against the idea that, you know, most people don't want that issuance to go away. Okay, so Sonic did this post yesterday. This is my last tweet. I'll just kind of read through the Grok TLDR, and then you can kind of get in here and read through the nitty gritty if that's something you want to do. So basically, the key things that I want to talk about is, you know, they're running for specific project prioritizing revenue. So the ecosystem itself wants to prioritize like products that are revenue generating for the ecosystem. So building a strong in-house protocol engineering, payments. So like, you know, actually using Sonic to pay for everyday goods, right? FX, so foreign exchange, right? And angelic infrastructure. So yeah, there's some talk in here about like, you know, the handover is almost complete and all these other things. So you can kind of go through this and read through this. I think it's they're on the right path, and they're trying to turn Sonic into more of like a business chain where the actual Sonic Labs has an invested interest in not just trying to make it completely whoever wants to build here can build here, and we will hope that people build stuff that people want to use. No, they're trying to actually build things that in-house that the house will be able to sell to people and actually get people to use, and so forth. So you can go through this whole thing and read through every little thing. There's a lot here. I don't want to read through everything all in this show. It's just a taste, okay? So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.